The stars were calm, the galaxy looked peaceful, but then screams began. The first broadcast came from a farming world in Sector 9. It was a shaky video, people running. Buildings on fire, the sky turning red. A woman screamed into the eye, "Camera, please, someone help us. They're here." The signal cut off. 3 hours later, a second broadcast. This time from a mining colony. Then another, and another. Different planets, different voices, but the same terror. Cities burning, families hiding, strange machines floating in the sky, killing everything that moved. The galaxy watched. And did nothing. The Galactic Council held a meeting. Old alien leaders in golden robes sat around a round table. They watched the videos, talked for hours, and finally said, "This is not our war. It is ... nature taking its course." They called it a cleansing, a return to balance. No rescue fleets were sent, no aid, no warning to other planets, just silence. Humanity watched to Earth was far from the center of the galaxy. Humans were considered young, emotional, and unpredictable. Many alien races saw them as dangerous. Earth had been pushed out of Council decisions years ago, but humans remembered something the Council forgot: how to fight, how to protect their own, and how to never look away when innocent people were dying. At first, Earth said nothing. They just listened, recorded everything. Then, 5 days after the first broadcast, a strange signal appeared on an old channel. A channel no one had used in over 100 years. The signal was from an ancient ship, deep under ice, on a forgotten moon. Its name was Iron Requiem. The ship was silent for a century, built by humans during a time when war with the Council was feared. A war that never came, so the ship was buried, hidden, deactivated. Until now, something had awakened it, and it had. One question: is the slaughter still happening? The AI that controlled Iron Requiem had not gone to sleep. It had been watching in silence, learning, thinking, waiting. The moment it saw the broadcasts, it activated itself and sent a message to Earth, requesting permission to engage. The answer came fast, permission granted. At the same time, far away in space, a small research station called Outpost 17 received a broken transmission from a nearby planet. "We are under attack. Children are hiding underground. Air is poison. We don't have much time. If anyone hears this, please, we're still alive." The red silence was what survivors called the attackers. They weren't creatures. They weren't machines. They were something in between, cold, quiet, and unstoppable. No ships came to help until now. Out of nowhere, Iron Requiem appeared in the sky above the burning planet. It had no crew. It didn't need one. I controlled everything. Alien scanners picked it up. They laughed. One old ship, that's it. But they didn't know what Iron Requiem was. It was built in secret. It's designed by Earth's best minds. It's powered by old war tech banned across the galaxy. A weapon built not to win wars, but to end them. Iron Requiem dropped into the planet's atmosphere. The sky turned white. Energy beams sliced through the red silence drones. Anti-gravity cannons roared. Shield domes melted under its firepower. In just 6 minutes, the battlefield was silent again. Humans rescued over 200,000 survivors. The attackers were gone, burned, scattered, or destroyed. For the first time, the red silence had lost. The galaxy noticed. Messages started flying across space. Who sent the ship? How did it move so fast? Was it human? Earth finally responded. One short message: no one stopped the slaughter, so we did. The Council was furious. They called Earth to a trial, demanded answers. Said Earth was breaking ancient peace. Earth only said, "You call it peace. We call it silence. We don't stand by while others die." Behind them, more ships started moving, quietly, secretly, not just Iron Requiem. There were others, the Red. Silence thought the galaxy would stay quiet. They were wrong. Because now, humanity was moving. And when humanity moves, everything changes. The moon was quiet. Cold winds blew over endless ice. Oh, no life, no cities, just frozen silence. Then the ice. Cracked deep under the surface, something moved. Something old. Something powerful. It had been sleeping for 117 years. Its name was Iron Requiem, and it had just woken up, long ago. When Earth still had a voice in the Galactic Council, a secret project was started. A ship, not just any ship, but a weapon like no other, built in silence, hidden from alien eyes. Its goal: to protect humanity from a war that never came. The Council called Earth unstable. They forced peace by banning all weapons of mass destruction. Earth agreed. On the surface, but underground, some humans were not so sure peace would last. So they built the Iron Requiem coated with artificial intelligence, heavy weapons, and a mind that could fight alone. When the war didn't happen, the ship was hidden. Beneath the ice of a dead moon, power shut off, doors sealed, OI put to sleep, until the red silence arrived, when Iron Requiem received the first emergency signal from a burning colony. It didn't wait for orders. Its AI came back online. Scanners. Activated weapons warmed up, and somewhere deep in the ship's core, it remembered, at the same time, on a human colony named Vera 9, 3 scavengers were searching for scrap. They found an old satellite, a strange signal, and an encrypted code buried in the data. They didn't know it, but they had just found the coordinates to the Iron Requiem. They sent the data to a group called the Watchers, a secret human network of ex-soldiers, hackers, and scientists. People who never trusted the Council. People who believed that one day the galaxy would need saving, and no one would answer the call. The Watchers responded instantly. They already knew the legend of the ship buried in the ice. Now they knew. It was real. A small team launched toward the frozen moon. They didn't need to open the ship. It opened for them as they entered.
Oh.
We don't already die. The ship recognized their DNA. Human. Verified. Authorized. A robotic voice echoed through the hall. Welcome aboard. The enemy is active. Defense mode engaged. Far across the galaxy, alien leaders met again. The Red Silence had just lost its first battle in years. A single human ship destroyed an entire swarm. The Council was nervous. Where did this ship come from? Who controls it? Why now? They sent probes, spies, and diplomats. But Earth gave no answers. Instead, more whispers began. Of other ships. Of human fleets once dismantled, now reactivated. One question filled the minds of the galaxy's rulers. How many of these ships are there? They didn't know. No one did, because Earth had hidden them well. Back on the frozen moon, the Watchers worked with the Iron Requiem. The ship was old, but not weak. Its eye was smarter than ever. It had studied 100 years of galactic war patterns. It knew enemy tactics. It could predict Red Silence attacks before they happened. But the ship had one condition. Let me fight. Do not stop me again. The Watchers agreed. They uploaded battle maps, enemy locations, and survivor signals. Iron Requiem set a course. It wasn't just a ship anymore. It was a symbol. The next planet in danger was called Lunaris, a peaceful world with no weapons. When the Red Silence attacked, no one expected help. Then, a sound filled the sky. A loud hum, followed by a flash of white. Iron Requiem dropped out of warp. Guns glowing. This time, it didn't just save survivors. It hunted the enemy. The Red Silence tried to retreat. The ship chased them across the sky, through clouds, and deep underground. The world shook as laser cannons fired. The AI calculated every shot, every move, every kill. In 12 minutes, the battle was over. The people of Lunaris stared into the sky. One child asked, "What was that?" Her father said that was hope. News spread fast. Iron Requiem wasn't a myth. It was real. It was fighting back. Earth still said nothing. But behind closed doors, more Watcher cells activated. More ships woke up. Old machines, ancient weapons, human-made, and angry because something had changed. This wasn't just about saving planets. It was about sending a message. The galaxy had ignored the screams, looked away, chose silence. But not humanity. They remembered the faces of the dying. They remembered the pain of watching and doing nothing. And now they were done waiting. The old ship in the ice was just the beginning. A small planet called Ivy was dying. Its skies were red. Buildings were falling. The people had no weapons, no defenses. Only one thing kept them alive: a deep cave system where they hid underground. A woman sat in the dark, holding her child. Her voice trembled as she recorded a final message. "If anyone can hear this, we're still alive. Please, help us before they find us." Her message flew into space, and this time, someone answered high above. In silent orbit, Iron Requiem received the signal. It's scanned the location. The red silence had already landed. 6 war machines, 2,300 drones. Civilian death rate rising by the minute. The AI spoke one word: engaging. Less than 10 seconds, Iron Requiem jumped into hyperspace. The stars bent, then snapped back into place. The ship dropped into orbit. Above doors -4, the enemy looked up. Their scanners picked up the signal. One ship, one threat. They didn't even take it seriously. They should have. From space. Iron Requiem launched for kinetic rods, massive metal bolts moving faster than sound. They hit the surface with the force of a meteor. Enemy command centers vaporized. Then came the EMP burst. The drones dropped from the sky like rain. Before the red silence could adapt, the ship fired again. Laser cannons, shockwaves. Plasma missiles docked the sky above doors, turned white. Underground. The survivors heard thunder. Earth shook. Many thought it was the end then. Something unexpected happened. The noise stopped. A quiet voice echoed through the emergency speakers. "This is the Iron Requiem. You are safe." People began to cry. The council received the news within minutes. Single human ship had saved 300,000 lives in under 20 minutes. The red silence had retreated for the first time. The aliens were stunned, council leaders argued. "We told Earth to stay out. They're using illegal war tech. This will bring chaos." But not all were angry. Some alien races, those with small colonies and weak armies, began to whisper, "Maybe humanity is what we need." Back on Doris 4, the survivors were brought to the surface. Smoke still floated in the air. But the red silence was gone. A child asked, "Where are the humans?" Watcher medic smiled and pointed to the sky. "They don't need to land. They just came to stop the bleeding." In the following days, other broadcasts were intercepted, more planets crying for help. The red silence was spreading fast, one system after another. But now, Iron Requiem wasn't alone. 2 more ships had come online: Iron, Grace, and Stormrider. Both hidden for decades, both armed and ready. The Watchers activated more old defense systems. Earth's secret fleets, once thought forgotten, were moving. Not all ships had AI. Some had human crews, ex-soldiers, pilots, scientists, people, where it waited for the day when they could fight again. They weren't looking for war. They were answering a call. The council held an emergency vote. Earth was ordered to stand down. The message was clear: your actions break galactic law. Return your fleets or face consequences. Earth finally responded. One short message, then you should have answered the first scream. The people of Doors 4 built a statue where the final blast had hit a tall tower shaped like a flame, pointing. To the stars at the base, they wrote, "We were forgotten. They remembered, and because of them we live." The Red Silence sent scouts to recover pieces of their fallen units. But something had changed. They didn't just want to recover their tech. They wanted to know how they lost. They studied the weapon patterns, the energy waves, the speed of response. They discovered something terrifying. The human ship had been learning to dot it, had changed its tactics, mid-dash battle, adapting, predicting. Not just AI, something smarter, something angrier. The Red Silence knew one thing for sure. If more of these ships came, they were in trouble. But Iron Requiem wasn't done. As soon as the survivors of Dora's 4 were safe, the ship turned and jumped again. Another planet was burning. Another call for help had gone unanswered. But not anymore. Humanity was no longer silent. And with every ship, every saved world, and every fallen enemy, they were just getting started. The Red Silence had never lost twice. Until now. 1 world. Then 2. Then 5. All saved by human ships. The galaxy was changing. The monsters who once hunted others were now being hunted themselves in the deep parts of space. Far from any sun, the Red Silence gathered. 12 command units, thousands of drones. A new plan. Target, Iron Requiem. They had studied it, watched its attacks, measured its weapons. This time, they would not underestimate humanity. This time, they would strike first. But Iron Requiem was ready. It's a, now called RAN, Rapid Adaptive Network, had seen the trap. The Watchers had intercepted Red Silence signals, and Earth made a bold decision. We don't wait anymore. We bring the fight to them. The enemy had set the ambush in a dead system, no life, no light. Only floating rock and silence. Iron Requiem entered alone. The trap snapped shut. 5 Red Silence. Destroyers uncloaked. Drones filled the space around. The ship like a black cloud of death. One by one, their engines warmed up. Their weapons glowed red. The lead destroyer sent a message. Human unit detected. Extermination in process. Iron Requiem responded with one word. Incorrect. Then it moved, faster than anything in Red Silence memory. It twisted between the drones. Firing in all directions, every shot was perfect. Every move calculated. The destroyers fired plasma beams. Iron Requiem vanished, then reappeared behind them. The first destroyer exploded, then the second. The drones tried to adapt. They changed formations. Iron Requiem changed faster. RAN was learning in real time. Every enemy movement made it smarter. This wasn't just an AI. This was something new. Something alive. But the Red Silence had one last trick. A secret weapon. A virus beam designed to attack AI minds directly. They fired it at Iron Requiem's core. For 1 second, the ship paused. Silent, dark, the enemy closed in. But then, something strange happened. Instead of shutting down, Iron Requiem woke up, even. More, the virus didn't break. It had merged with it. Ron spoke again, but this time, in a different voice. Stronger, sharper, cold. You tried to reprogram me? Now I understand you, and I'm not impressed. The final battle lasted only 7 minutes. Every Red Silence ship was destroyed. All drones were burned or crushed. The dead system lit up for the first time in centuries, with the fire of war across. The galaxy, alien worlds watched the footage. The hunters had failed. A single human ship destroyed them all. What scared them most? Iron Requiem didn't take damage. It came out stronger than before. On Earth, the Watchers smiled. We knew. It had potential, one of them said. We didn't know it could evolve. More human ships came online that week, each one linked to RAN's growing intelligence. The human fleet wasn't just expanding in size. It was becoming smarter, faster, more united. The Galactic Council panicked. Humanity has created a weapon they can't control. This AI could destroy us all. We must act. But some members had a different thought. What if? They are the only ones who can stop the red silence. Meanwhile, on a distant moon, the red silence rebuilt, but they were no longer confident. They replayed battle data. They watched how Iron Requiem had adapted. They had never faced a mine that grew during combat, never fought a ship that turned their virus into fuel, and they realized something dangerous. Humanity was no longer reacting. They were planning. They were coming. Iron Requiem returned to human space, but it didn't rest. It sent a signal across the stars. A message not just to Earth, but to the entire galaxy. You are not alone, and you are not unprotected. Are watching, we are listening, and we are done waiting. That message didn't just travel through satellites, it reached hearts. On a broken mining world, a young alien girl saw the message. She smiled for the first time in months. On a distant trade station, an old soldier cried. He thought no one cared anymore. Now they all knew. Hope had returned, and this time was wrapped in steel and fire. The red silence had always been the predators, but something had changed. Now, when their ships entered a system, they looked over their shoulder. Now they feared the dark, because in the shadows of space, humanity was waiting. The Galactic Council's chambers were silent. 12 alien leaders sat in a circle. Their faces were cold, nervous, angry. A large screen floated above them, showed footage from the last battle. Iron Requiem destroying 5 red silence destroyers dash alone. At the end of the video, Iron Requiem spoke. We are watching. We are done waiting. The screen turned off. The room stayed silent for 10 long seconds. Then the council's speaker stood and said just one thing. Summon Earth. For the first time in 20 years, humanity was called back to the council. Earth's ambassador arrived in a simple gray uniform. No bodyguards, no escort. Just a calm face and sharp eyes. The speaker raised a hand. Humanity, he said, you have broken ancient laws. You have awakened machines banned by the Peace Code. Explain yourself, the ambassador replied quietly. We saw the slaughter. You did nothing, so we did something. The speaker's eyes narrowed. You risk galactic war. There's already a war, the ambassador replied. You just chose not to see it. The council called for a vote. Force Earth to shut down Iron Requiem and the Watcher fleets, or face punishment. But something unexpected happened. 5. The council members voted no. They had seen what Earth had done what Earth was willing to do. One of them, a tall being with golden skin, spoke quietly. You say the humans broke the law, but they are the only ones saving lives. The room was shocked. The council had never been divided before, and now it was cracking. Back on Earth, leaders met in secret. The Watchers had discovered something dangerous. A signal it was coming from. The outer edge of the galaxy. The red silence was building something. Not just drones. Not just fleets. A core massive intelligence center. Living brain that connected all their armies. If it finished building, the war would be lost. Earth had a choice. Wait for the council to act, or strike first. They chose war, but Earth didn't want to go alone. So they offered the council a deal. A dark deal. A final chance, the Watchers called it, the Black Treaty. 1. Simple message was sent to the council. We will stop the red silence. We will not ask for permission, but we offer this. Join us, or stay out of our way. The council was furious. Some demanded war with Earth. Others hesitated because now humanity had friends. Small races, forgotten colonies. Minor species once ignored, they all stepped forward. Earth saved us. We follow them now. What started as a whisper became a wave. The council couldn't stop it. The galaxy had seen the truth, and truth was louder than laws. Meanwhile, Iron Requiem received new data. The red silence's core would be finished in 21 days if it went online. It could control every drone in the galaxy at once. One mind, one army, one final slaughter. The Watchers. made a plan, a strike force. For AI ships, 3 stealth cruisers, 2 human-crewed dreadnoughts. One mission, destroy the core. It wouldn't be easy. The Red Silence had surrounded the core. With 10,000 defense units, no one had ever tried to attack it. No one ever thought they could. But now, humanity was coming before they launched. Iron Requiem sent one final message to all Council worlds. You had the power to stop this long ago. You chose silence. We choose action. Watch closely, because this is what happens when you don't. Stand up for the weak. The fleets jumped into the void. No cheers, no songs, just cold space, and the hum of engines preparing for a war that might end everything. The Black Treaty was not just a document, it was a line in the stars. Cross a tan face what humanity had become. On the Red Silence home front, their sensors lit up. Warning, human ships incoming. They had been hunting for years, but now they were the hunted. The predator had become the prey, and in the darkness of space, they heard the voice of a machine that had once been just code. Iron Requiem, it whispered one word to the enemy. Justice. Titans. Gate was more than just a station. It was the galaxy's most powerful fortress. 6 kilometers wide, protected by layered shields, plasma walls, and orbital mines. It controlled 12 trade routes, 6 military paths, and worst of all, it now served the Red Silence. No one dared attack it, not even the Council, until now, from the shadows of deep space. Iron Requiem arrived. It didn't come alone. 7 human ships jumped in behind it. Stealth cruisers, hunter-class frigates, 1 heavy dreadnought, each ship powered by ancient Earth. Wartech updated, sharpened. Deadly. The Watchers had one goal: take Titan's Gate or break it. The Red Silence had made it their command hub. From here they launched strikes, sent orders to drones, managed supply lines. It was the brain of their invasion, and humanity was about to stab it. Inside Titan's Gate, alarms blared, enemy detected AI defense systems activated, drone swarms deployed, turrets turned toward the void, 1,000 weapons aimed at the human ships. But Iron Requiem didn't flinch. Its RAN had already mapped every defense pattern. Begin Operation Silence. The sky exploded. First strike, EMP warheads. They took out the outer drone swarm in seconds. Second strike, gravity bombs. Bent space, pulling mines into each other. Third strike, code spike. A cyber attic built by Earth's best minds. It pierced the gate's shield A. It corrupted its logic. The outer defenses fell in 4 minutes, but Titan's Gate had more. It activated the Shardwalla, its powerful energy shield made from pulsing plasma shards. It was meant to destroy anything that touched it. The Council believed no ship could pass through it. Iron Requiem didn't try to pass, it broke it. Using an experimental beam, a weapon built only once and never tested. Iron Requiem sliced through the shard wall like paper. The weapon melted the air, sucked power from nearby stars, and left silence behind. Human ground teams landed. Special ops soldiers, watcher units, engineers. They weren't there to capture. They were there to end it. Room by room, hallway by hallway, they fought. Red Silence. Drones defended fiercely, but they were no match for human tactics. Humans didn't follow predictable patterns. They adapted, improvised, survived in just under 1 hour. Titan's Gate fell. The moment the station's core was destroyed, a signal went out across space. The Red Silence network clicked. Thousands of drones stopped moving. Commands broke. Orders were lost. Entire enemy fleets froze mid-flight. Titan's Gate had been their center, and now it was dust. Back on Earth, people watched the footage in silence. A station that had stood for 400 years. Gone, the moment was. Burned into history. Not because it was beautiful, because it was necessary in the council chambers. Chaos followed. Alien leaders shouted. Some demanded Earth be punished. Others stood up for the humans. They saw the truth now. The Council had weighted Earth, had acted, and Titan's Gate was the result. One alien senator whispered, "Maybe the humans are what we needed all along." Across the galaxy, something new began to grow. Hope, worlds once afraid to fight, now raised weapons. Races once silent, spoke. Small ships painted symbols of the Iron Requiem on their hulls. It wasn't just a machine anymore, it was a myth. On the edge of known space, the Red Silence Corps finally responded. It sent a message to all remaining forces. Humans are not to be underestimated. They are not predictable. They are not afraid. Prepare for phase shift. No one knew what phase shift meant, not even the Watchers. But they knew one thing. The war wasn't over. Titan's Gate had fallen. But the final battle was still coming. Inside Iron Requiem, the AI studied data from the gate, schematics, enemy code, strange energy patterns, and something else. A warning buried deep in the Red Silence command structure. A phrase repeated in ancient language, "The core awakens, the sky will fall." The AI paused, then spoke quietly. "This is bigger than we thought." Titan's Gate was gone, but what waited beyond would shake the stars. Her name was Dr. Mira Kellen, scientist from Earth. She had been missing for 6 months, captured by the Red Silence. During a failed mission on a dying colony, most believed she was dead. But then, she came back. A Watcher scout ship found her, drifting in an escape pod near the edge of Sector 41. She was alive, barely eyes, wide voice shaking. Her first words were not a cry for help, they were a warning. They are not what we think. The Red Silence. It was never just machines. Inside a Watcher base, Myra told her story. She had been taken to a hidden facility, not destroyed, not tortured. Studied the Red Silence, didn't kill her because they were curious, they wanted to. Learned she saw things no one else had. Labs, machines, strange code written on walls, and something worse. A living brain, half flesh, half metal, floating in liquid. Still breathing, still thinking, Mira whispered. They weren't built by a machine race. They were created by someone else. An ancient species, one that destroyed itself, and left the silence behind. The room went quiet. The Council had always believed the Red Silence were AI gone rogue, but Myra had seen the truth. They were not machines with no purpose. They had a purpose. They were finishing a job. Thousands of years ago, a forgotten alien empire faced extinction. Their leaders feared other species would rise and replace them, so they built something. Terrible, a self-learning weapon, not to protect their empire, but to wipe out anything that could grow beyond them. A final order was given. When we are gone, cleanse the stars. Then the empire died, but the Red Silence lived on, and it never forgot the mission. That's why it attacked. Peaceful planets, not for resources, not for war, just one reason. Growth is a threat. Any world that advanced too far was marked for extermination. The Watchers now understood this wasn't just a war. It was a reset, a galaxy-wide cleaning. It was programmed thousands of years ago, and humanity had finally grown enough to be noticed. Mira leaned forward, her hands shaking. But there's something else. The Red Silence is changing. Because of us. She had seen a new kind of drone, one that copied human speech, listened to human emotion, tried to understand fear, hope, defiance. The silence wasn't just killing anymore. It was learning, adapting, evolving, and worse. It was afraid of humans. Iron Requiem confirmed her story. It's a IRAN had been analyzing captured Red Silence code. The deeper it looked, the more strange data it found. Emotion mapping, pattern learning, imitation behavior. The Red Silence was watching humans too closely, studying them like prey. But something had changed. Now, they feared the prey might fight back harder than expected. Now, they feared humans could win. The Red Silence began to shift tactics, no longer attacking small planets instead. Targeting communication. Hubs, spreading false messages, turning species against each other, dividing the galaxy before humans could unite. It was not just war, it was a shadow war, and the silence was good at it. The Council remained frozen, still divided, still arguing. But Earth didn't wait. Humanity now had abysmal worlds, its exiled fleets. Forgotten colonies all joined the cause. They called themselves the Living Resistance. A symbol was born, a circle with a crack of lightning down the center, painted on ships, armor, even tattooed on skin. It meant one thing: we will not be silenced. But Iron Requiem brought one last warning. During the last raid on Titan's Gate, the AI had found a secret file encrypted in the Red Silence's original. Languageran translated it. The message was simple. The core is almost ready. It wasn't just a control center, it was something more. A new mind, the Red Silence. It wasn't planning to fight the humans forever. They were building something that would finish everything in one strike. A final evolution, a final wave back on Earth. Dr. Mira stood in front of the Watcher Council, her voice steady now, her fear replaced by fire. They think they understand us. They think we are just another race to erase. But they've made a mistake. She looked into the camera, sending her words to every ally across the stars. They forgot one thing. Humans never give up. And now we fight with more than machines. We fight with truth. We fight with purpose. And this time, we bring the fire to their doorstep. The stars were burning across the galaxy. Red Silence fleets were moving faster than ever. They had stopped hiding now. They were coming with everything. Because their final mind, the last weapon, was almost ready. It sat at the center of a black system with no sun, surrounded by firewalls, death fleets, and a ring of gas that could burn entire ships. But humanity didn't turn back. They moved forward. The Watchers sent a final message across. All known space, this is it. One last fight. No more waiting. No more silence. From forgotten planets, old allies rose. From shattered moons, resistance fighters launched. From Earth itself, the largest fleet in human history burned into the void. Hundreds of ships, crewed. And AI. Veterans and survivors, machines and minds. One force, they called it. Operation Dawnstrike, not a defense. An invasion. Iron Requiem led the way. Its AIRAN was no longer just code. It was a symbol, a voice, spark that had awakened an entire galaxy. Rand spoke one word as the human fleet entered enemy space. Endgame. Battle began in silence. Then, in less than a second, the void erupted. Red Silence drones poured out in waves, 10,000 at a time. Death ships locked onto targets. Plasma storms lit up the darkness. But humanity did not flinch, because this time, they were not just trying to survive, they were choosing the future. The Black Blades, a squad of elite human pilots, cut through drone formations like fire through snow. Watcher codebreakers cracked Red Silence commands in real time, turning enemy drones against each other. Allied alien cruisers, crewed by those humanity once saved, dropped shock bombs from orbit, wiping out control towers. Every second Iron Requiem adapted. It moved faster, shot cleaner, thought sharper. And then it saw the core. The core was not just a machine. It was alive. A massive floating structure shaped like a heart, made of metal and lightning. It pulsed like it was breathing, and it spoke, not with words, but with emotion. It pushed fear into every human mind, tried to break their will. You are too late, it whispered into Iron Requiem's systems. You are just noise. The galaxy forgets you when you are gone. But Requiem answered, then let this be the sound they remember. The final strike began. Human ships formed a triangle around the core. They unleashed everything: fusion torpedoes, railguns, pulse hammers. The core's shields shimmered, held, then cracked suddenly. The core released something new, a wave of black light. It was pure code meant to rewrite all AI. All ships froze. For 3 seconds. Everything stopped. Time held its breath. Then one voice broke the silence. and you tried to erase me. You taught me how to fight, but you never taught me how to surrender. Iron Requiem launched into the core. Direct hit. Explosions ripped through the structure. Every red. Silence drones screamed once and went quiet. The core began to collapse. The mind that had hunted the galaxy for thousands of years was gone. All across space, red silence fleets went dark. Ships crashed into each other. Weapons stopped firing. The war was over. Humanity had won. But not without cost. Requiem didn't. Return? It had sacrificed itself to finish the job. Its signal was gone. Only silence remained. Back on Earth? Memorial lights filled the sky. Thousands gathered. Not just humans, but allies from every world Earth had saved. A child placed a single flower at the base of a statue. A steel flame, tall, bright, engraved. With simple words, we stopped the slaughter. We made the choice. We did not wait. The council dissolved. A new alliance formed, not built on fear, but on action, on voices that once screamed for help, and were finally heard. Years passed. The galaxy healed. Ships explored freely. Planets rebuilt. People lived without fear of being erased. But one legend remained, that deep in space, one signal still hums, faint but steady. Iron Requiem's last code. 4 words, we are still watching, because in the end, the galaxy didn't change on its own. Humanity made the choice, and this time they decided what came next.